Dear God. All right, here we go.
We have one person here.
We have more than one person. I told them they could have their cameras off and everything. All
Oh,
right,
yeah, here they come.
so do you want to just do every other?
I don't mind. I'll jump in.
Yes. Go for it.
So we want to talk to everybody today about the ghostwriting services that we're doing. We've had a few questions from people. So rather than going back to everybody individually, we just wanted to address any of the questions that people have had. So I suppose the first thing we wanted to do was to introduce you to the Inkwell team, just in case you don't know who we are. And we've taken 4 businesses together so that we can serve you authors much better.
I am Nicole Andrews-Moore. Many of you know me from Love Kiss books. I've been working with Love Kiss since 2016. We predominantly handle marketing, promotions, coaching, concepts, both custom and pre-made, offering plotting consults, and a variety of digital products to help authors grow.
Next is me, Christina Moran, or Chrissy, as most of you know me. And I am for Author Bunnies, or Plot Bunnies, I think is the one that most people would know. So we do concepts and we do outlines too. We also do courses. We offer proofreading, digital products, which I do a lot of those with Nicole. We come together to do those. We do formatting, covers, and coaching. So we do a lot of things too.
You may know Erin Haywood because she often helps. She now is the website wingman, your website wingman.
I love that.
Marketing. I know, she's so cute. And web design and all kinds of digital products. Honestly, she's our website guru. And every time I have a problem, I literally will just send her like an SOS and she jumps right in and helps us. So believe me, she will help you too. I would definitely trust her with all that.
She explains it in a very easily understandable way too, because I don't get WordPress at all. And when she came in to explain some of the stuff to us, it was so easy to understand, which is just what everybody wants.
And she's very patient, which I need because, you know.
And she's listening.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I've just been letting everybody in. Wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
So Erin, thank you for all you do if you're around. All right. And last but not least, Rachel Chrisley of Chrisley Creatives. She does covers, graphic design. We partner for planners, and she has other digital products that she's come up with that, you know, she's fantastic. I like her a lot.
She's great. I love Rachel.
All right. So why work with the Inkwell Publishing Services? Well, maybe you're overcommitted or tired of writing sex scenes, or you want to change genres or have more frequent releases, and you know that you have maxed out on, you don't have the bandwidth to do one more thing. Maybe you want more books to market.
Chris, the sex scene one is one that I've spoken to quite a few people about, and the only way I can describe it is, and I think the majority of authors do this when they're writing them, is they have the square brackets with insert sex scene here, because you may not feel in the mood to be writing a sex scene. And then when you go back at the end to go and write it in, you're like, oh, I just don't really feel it. So this is where this has come out of, writing the sex scene. So that's the feedback we've had from people, is what they do.
All right. So now this is the big question that everybody's wondering about. Why would someone, you're all authors, you know, you're already authors. Why would you need a ghostwriter? So like, we've got years of experience between both of us as authors and author service providers. We've been around for a few years. We've both help authors in their individual businesses. Nicole's been going longer than I have, so she's been doing it since 2016, and I created Plot Bunnies in 2019 actually. And you know, we use ghostwriters too,
for many of the same reasons that you guys do, you know, that you have a deadline for a book that you're not going to meet, you know, that you just don't feel the book. We thoroughly vet our ghostwriters. We get samples of them. We have video interviews with them. We provide their writing samples, and we ask them for not just the ones they give us when they apply for the position, but we would then go back and say, do you write this genre? Can we have a writing sample if a customer is specifically looking for something? And we run all our projects through a plagiarism checker, which has to be the greatest product ever, just to make sure that everybody gets original content and that it's not plagiarized from somewhere else. And we're really cool too. Sorry.
I'm sure they already picked it up on that.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I just sort of mentioned that. Yeah.
All right. So basically, whether you're looking to have a full sex scene, you know, sex scenes written, or you're going with full ghost rights, I know that everybody comes to us and they kind of want to know, how does this work? What is, you know, like, what's the process? What am I going to, you know, what's the experience like? So we kind of laid it all out for you.
Yeah.
And I think it's reasonably simple. We got this, but okay.
Yeah.
So what happens is, initially you sign up on the form and you pay the deposit. And this is when we add your project to the calendar. On there, we ask when you would like it started. Some people are just trying to book and make sure that they have a person saved for when they're ready. I have a lot of people coming to me going, you know what? I know that I need a reader magnet. I know that I need, and I don't have time to fit that into my schedule. I know that I signed up for this anthology and I don't want to back out because I'm going to lose the money, but I really would love it if I didn't have to write it, because yeah, that doesn't fit in my schedule now either. So these are the things, you know, you can tell us when you want to be on the calendar and we can get you on the calendar. We assign a ghostwriter, or we help you select one, because sometimes you know, you'll say, I'm not sure, do any of them, because we put up all contemporary romance. And so if you're looking for something specific, like an MC or a mafia or sports, you might not be convinced from the writing sample that this is someone who could do that. So we help you select a person.
And also, some of the ghostwriters have booked out already until the middle of next year. So, you know, you may want somebody, but you might not be prepared to wait a month or 2 months or whatever it is to get the person that you want. So we would then talk to you about who best suits the genre and tropes that you're writing for.
Mm-hmm. And so after that, the next step is we need to see an outline if it's a full ghostwrite, or we need to have you complete the design your sex scene submission. I know it's an additional form, but it is really, really critically important. And the better you fill that out, the better your sex scene is going to be.
We had fun putting that together.
We really did.
With the emojis that match and everything.
Yes. And so, you know, have fun with it, because we did. And then after we get all that together, we share your start date and set up your payment plan if you're doing full ghost rights. If you're only doing sex scenes, you just do the initial payment. And then when the project is completed, then we invoice you for the second part. And in case you're worried about, well, you know, how long are some of these ghost scenes? You get to determine this. There are options like, is it a quickie? So it's like this many, you know, like up to, you know, 500 to 1,000 words. Do you want it to be like, you know, normal length, or is it like a marathon? So, you know, you get to decide this, and you kind of have ideas. Yes. So for what's going to work. All right. And then when the project is completed, we run it through a plagiarism checker. We send a final invoice prior to a delivery. And that way you can relax and just go, okay, this is safe. I'm not getting something that later on I'm going to get slammed by somebody saying, you copied.
That they wrote it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So timelines. This is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Book us early to secure your spot. As I was just saying earlier, some of them are getting booked up quite quickly. Mm-hmm. So if you know there's somebody you specifically want, you kind of need to get in to book them. Sometimes it's better to have a bit more of an open mind as to who you get. We'll make sure that they fit exactly what you're doing. But with enough notice, we can hire more people, because that's what we've done recently as well, to accommodate the needs.
Right, because what happens is if a lot of people are using the service as a way to have more books to market in a genre that they're not necessarily comfortable writing, but that they know is, say, a hot market. And so they want somebody else who's going to write the books, and then they can focus on the fun part, which is just marketing them and earning the money from it. And so if you're going to do that, generally people will select to do a series, and therefore you want the same ghostwriter who's going to write the entire series so that it sounds like the same voice, right? So that's why we keep hiring people, to make sure that we have everybody's needs fulfilled. But that's not all.
Yes, you can be like these people in these pictures. We obviously we need to have ghostwriters to be able to provide the service of ghostwriting. So we can keep you as busy as you like. So if you only want to do 2 books a year, 3 books a year, or whatever you can fit in, then we will work around that. You can do the sex scenes, or you can do the ghostwrites, or you can do both. It depends on what you're comfortable doing. We also have something which we are calling pre-mates. So when there isn't any work from clients, then we give pre-mates to our ghostwriters. So these are books that we will be selling as fully made up books, which is interesting too. We send our contracts out on a Sunday, so they always start work on a Monday. And you're paid for the number of words you completed every Monday. So there's a spreadsheet to fill in, and then we pay you for the words that you've written the previous week. Busy, busy.
I know, there's a lot. And so I'm sure that right about now you're wondering about anonymity, because this is a big thing. I know that, people don't want to have it known that they're using ghostwriters, and I'm sure that a lot of people don't want it known that they are, working as a ghostwriter on the side. So no problem with that, because Chrissy and I are the only ones who know who is hiring us and who is writing for us. And we're never going to expose either party, because it's really bad for business.
It's a really hard limit.
So yeah, and so we protect everybody. With each contract, there's a built-in NDA. So they sign, the ghostwriter sign an NDA for each project. We also are, working on contracts that we're going to be sharing with those who hire us, pretty much just because we've had a lot of questions lately, and we want to make sure that we have like all the terms and conditions laid out, so everybody knows what, they're getting into.
Yeah, but it is a hard limit for us.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is the other thing that we have a lot of questions about, and that we want to make sure that we explain very, very thoroughly. So we're going to talk outlines.
Okay, what do we look for in outlines? Obviously, the more information you can give us, the more information you're giving to the ghostwriter for them to be able to write a story that you want. So like character descriptions, some people might say, I don't know what they look like, I don't care what they look like. But if you do care what they look like, you need to give us the information on like their names, any nicknames that they may have, ages, what do they do, what do they look like, their personalities, distinguishing features, things that you would want to appear in the book. We need to know where the book is set. We need to know when, what era, what period, what time, what year, season, obviously. Is it part of a series? Is it the first book, second book, third book, last book? Genre, what trope? And as many details as possible to move the plot along in each chapter. So like we give between 5 and 10, well, no, 5 and 10 plot points for us to then put into the outline. But the more information you give us, the more we're going to provide you with what you're looking for. Oh, Nicole, we meet you again.
The wrong direction on this?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know where you're going.
I'm just gonna, no, like it's so weird because it just kind of went back through. So anyway, what I think is really most important out of the whole, just like when you are writing a book with outlines, every chapter has to move the story along. And when you are paying somebody by the word to write a book for you, you want to make sure that every word counts. Okay. So every chapter has to play a major role in the story. Clients pay by the word. Each word has to count.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Now I know what you're thinking, because we've had to come back to just about everybody with questions about their outlines so far. And so basically, bottom line is, yes, of course we offer, outlining and plotting services. This is, part of, our process, one of the things that we've done. And I'm sure that a lot of people really think that, we're kind of complaining about these. It's not that we're complaining, we're offering suggestions for improvement, because we don't want our ghostwriters to be frustrated, and slow the project down. I mean,
And ask lots of questions. We don't want them to coming to us to ask questions, for us to go back to the authors to ask other questions.
yeah, because that helps us too, all the time, where they'll
And
say,
it slows it down.
yes, and because that you're not stuck on your computer all day long, and so therefore, anything can, slow down a project. And a lot of you have deadlines, hard deadlines for these things, and so we want to be able to help you as best we can. So yes, we offer outlining and plotting services, the done for you, which is done with you, which is the plotting consults, where you sit down with either myself or a member of the Love Kiss team. We will lay out either a 10 chapter or a 20 chapter, depending upon whether you're doing a novella or a novel. And we'll complete it by video with all the plot points and ask all the questions, and it'll be ready to go. Christine's team does outlines. And do you want to tell a little more about that?
Yeah, so the way we described it was obviously done with you with Nicole. Done for you is where you give us your concept, the ideas for your story, and we will then outline it for you with no more input from you than what you give us at the beginning of the project. Some people like that if they're ghostwriting, because they don't want to have a huge input into what's in the book. And some people don't want to do the video. So we have a lot of people who would do the done for you service on a daily basis. So that's why we do it. And then Nicole does the video consults, and so you can have more of an input.
Right. So if you're coming to us and you're trying to get in really, really quickly, please be aware that a lot of times we're booked out. I mean, if anybody has tried to get on my calendar for a consult, then they know that right now my openings are like December and January. So, so this isn't an upsell. We're not trying to sell our services. We're just trying to explain what we really need in order for our ghostwriters to be successful and for your book to be good. The thing about Christine and I is that even though these aren't what we're publishing personally, it's really important to us that we give you the best possible product, because you have to market it. And so in the case that you already have an outline, or you want to write your own outline, which we're very acceptable, we are happy to work with those. But like I said, those are, we have to approve it. And so if you're not sure that we're going to approve it, beef it up, go ahead, beef it up based on the stuff we've talked about, add in pictures. Literally, when I'm doing plotting, consults with people, a lot of times we find pictures of houses. We get, if we're talking about certain things. Yesterday, it was how to kill a Wendigo. And so we were we put in links for information, and all that stuff, so that later on, when when it's being written, we have all the details and information we need. Just make sure that it is ghostwriter ready. Imagine that you are in that position and it is being handed to you, and you have to sit down blind and write it based on the outline. Do you think you could do it? Do you think you could do it? So that's all that we're looking for. Okay. Frequently asked questions, because we do get a lot of
We do get a lot of these, yes.
So we've anticipated some. If you have others that we're not going to answer, feel free to use the chat feature, put the question in the chat, go ahead and make it so that it is visible only to me or Christine, okay? And we will be able to keep your anonymity and answer the question for you. But these are the ones that we anticipated based on what we've already seen. Go for it.
So will the book come edited? No. However, our writers are experienced and write relatively clean. So of course, you need to read the book, you need to get it edited, you need to get it proofread. There will be some that you will still have to do, but they won't have been edited by an editor before they come to you. No. This could be something that we could offer at a later stage, but at the moment, no.
Right. All right, so the what if I want to order a series? So we go through the same process for each book. We recommend having the same ghostwriter complete each book, and let us know in advance when you book the first project so that we can plan for an extended project. So that means that obviously if we know we're gonna, because we created this really cool spreadsheet that we will never ever be able to show anybody. Just trust us that it's a really cool spreadsheet. And we literally have blocks showing when weeks on the, how many weeks people are booked out. And then that way we can plan for extended projects. Like we've had people ask, can I have a week in between projects because they want an opportunity to be able to read and to edit and make sure that this is exactly what they want before they book their next project. And, we allow that, we do all that. And just make sure that you place a deposit to secure the ghostwriter. That's all we ask. And then that way you stay on the calendar. Which brings us to
which you've just answered. Yes. Yes, you do. So for each one in a series or standalone, you will need to pay a deposit to get on for that particular project. Yes. No, go ahead.
Well, is there a discount for series? Sadly, no, because we pay the ghostwriter the same amount for every word written in a full ghostwrite. And I think that you have a sense of like some of the expenses that are coming out of this. We have contracts with, so we have contract, software. We have the plagiarism software. We have, like website, all the other expenses, PayPal fees. Like, so no, we can't offer a discount for a series.
Why do sex scenes cost more? That's we kind of decided when we were doing this that, if somebody's writing, it's less words than a book, but you've got to get what you need to get over in a smaller amount of words. So it's a bit more specialized. There's a lot of moving parts. What did somebody say? A going into B and C, and where did D come from? And it's all these parts that have to go together and not have extra legs and arms in there. And it is a lot more specialized and there is less words to do. So yes, we do pay more for this skill.
All right. And so I'm sure you're sitting there going, well, how much? What does this cost? So for a sex scene ghostwrite, it's 5 cents per word. Again, you get to kind of lay out and tell us, your word count that you're looking for. And there's a $50 down payment to book for that. Now there's an invoice upon completion. This is completely custom. You're going to die when you see how custom it is.
Yeah, it is.
So like some of our favorite questions were things like words that you want to avoid. So, and we gave an example of moist.
Yes.
And we talked about, like we want to know, like, what do you call in the various body parts? Are there, like this is important because
we all call them differently. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And so we ask, so I just thought of the top line in that, sorry. All right. So anyway, there's, yes, so we can make it as naughty or nice as you like. And you get to determine, and a lot of times even our ghostwriters will come back to us with that, and they'll be like, so listen, I wanted to put this in here, and is this okay with the author? Yeah. So it's very cute. Now for the full ghostwrite, that's 3 cents a word. It's a $300 down payment. You don't have to be ready to start immediately. You can be, securing a spot, like we said, months out, because this is when you're going to need it.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure there's someone there. Once a full ghostwrite starts, the week it starts, we set up a payment plan, and it's automated, so you don't have to do a thing. And of course, the ghostwrite is also completely custom and completely anonymous and plagiarism checked. So
the one thing I just wanted to say there about the payment thing is that one of the authors that we have worked for had asked for an invoice at the end of the project. So what we do, you have your weekly payment plan, and then at the end we send you an invoice for the remaining amount, and on there we list all the payments that have been made so that you can use that for your accountant and your bookkeeping.
All right. So if you survived
This far.
and you made it this far with, despite all my mistakes and our inability to make the tech work to go live in Facebook, then you deserve a break. So we're offering saving 10% on your next project. You just have to book before midnight on Monday. And meaning like basically just before the 26th. And these are the codes. So you're going to want to write these down. The way that it works, unfortunately, you have to have a different code for each sign up form. And for the full ghostwrite, it's FG save 10. And for the sex scene ghostwrite, it's SX save 10. All right. We do have a question. All right. Oh, this is one that we didn't answer, but we should have. You ready? The question was, can you book a ghostwrite to help you finish a half-written book? So the answer to that, because we have come across this, what we look for is, first of all, it's one thing that if you have written the first 3 chapters and you have an outline and you are just at this point where you are so blocked and you think that no plot doctoring session is going to help you and you're like struggling for time and there's all these other commitments, we are happy to help you finish a book if it's like you've partially written it and you just need us to finish the rest and you have an outline.
Yeah, it's following that outline as well.
Yes. That being said, what we can't do is if you've written a book and it's 25,000 words and it's supposed to be 50,000 words and you want us to just go in and beef up the chapters, that we can't do. We do it the opposite way. Like we've had some people say, can I, because I want it to sound like me, can I have, you have a ghostwriter follow the whole like plot, write it out for around 25,000 and then I'll go in and beef it up after I get it back. And we're like, yes, that is no problem. But we can't go the opposite direction and, you know, beef it up for you. Yes. So I hope this makes sense. And I hope this answers the question again. So if you have a partially written, maybe you've written the first 10 chapters, it doesn't matter how many chapters. Again, it would just be the deposit. We need to approve the outline. And then we can have a ghostwriter finish the book for you from there. Yes, I got a thumbs up. It answers the question.
Yay.
Woo-hoo. Did you see that? I answered a question. Like all by myself. All right, which is awesome because I apparently can't make this function or whatever. So anyway, I hope this makes sense to you. I have to tell you, I didn't ask this person if I could share their testimonial, but we have gotten a lot of response from authors who, especially those who've done the sex scene ghostwrite, because some of them have written so many books and they've said, you know what, this is the worst part about writing a book is that I am so sick of writing, sex scenes and just the freedom that it gives to be able to know that somebody else is going to put what they're going to, fit in there. So what we have done is we've tried to make it as custom as possible and give you as much input as possible. And I hope that you find this helpful too. All right, let's see if I can, there. So remember, if the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal. So maybe your goal was that you were going to write, 6 books in this coming year. And you're thinking to yourself, right, but I just found out that, like your situation has changed, you have to move, you've gotten a different job or whatever the case may be. Let us help you with your plan. Let us help you reach your goal. All right, and that's us. Thank you, and we look forward to helping you grow. If you have any other questions, just let us know. We're happy to try to field those. And
or reach out as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our email is hello@theinkwellpublishingservices.com. And once you go on the website, which is theinkwellpublishingservices.com, you're going to see in the navigational menu, ghostwriting, and just go, click on that, and it will take you right to the ghostwriting section, allow you to pick. You're going to see the different chairs.
Some beautiful chairs.
Yes. So we have like people sitting, like ladies sitting in computers, typing in the chairs. We have their ghost name and we have what they do. So kind of laying out which genre each person writes, what like their level of steam that they're comfortable with. And also a sample. Like if you click on the button, there's a sample. And if you want a sample for another genre that they say they write, ask us, because chances are we already have it on the spreadsheet, another spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. And then, and if we don't, we can get the sample for you. And definitely, if you're considering this, take advantage of the 10% is off the entire project. So like, it's not just the deposit, it's off the entire project. So
weekly payments
everything would be, 10% off the whole thing. So go ahead and look at your schedule, try to figure out, how we can help you. All right.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you,
Super.
everyone. All right. Look forward to talking with you again soon. Oh, wait a minute. One more question, I think. Oh, no, it's a thank you. Okay. Oh, no,
cutting somebody off.
I had a question. Yes, I know.
It's a nasty question, though.
So, all right. Thank you. And again, feel free to message us privately on Facebook. Feel free to send us emails. We're happy to help and answer questions that you may have. All right.